Good afternoon. I want to welcome you all to the Senate Task Force on Liquefied Natural Gas. Task Force instituted by legislation filed this year for the Senate to take a comprehensive look at the issue that is now facing the state of Rhode Island with respect to the large tankers bringing liquefied natural gas up through our bay. Without further ado at this point, I do want to introduce to the members for, if you will, a send-off announcement statement, the President of the Senate, Senator Teresa Piver-Weed. If you would proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Senator Levesque. It's my opportunity for the opportunity to deliver the charge to the committee today. First and foremost, I want to thank my colleagues who are here today for participating in this task force. As senators, many of us have been contacted by our constituents regarding the LNG offshore unloading berth proposed for Mount Hope Bay by the Weavers Cove Energy. While a great deal of regulatory and legal activity is underway already, there are still many questions that have been asked and information to be reviewed. I strongly believe that the General Assembly has a responsibility to carefully and objectively review the proposed project and try to answer the questions asked of us to ensure that the safety of those who may be impacted by the proposed Weavers Cove project. Concerns about this proposed project have been raised by the residents who live along the proposed route of the LNG supertankers, as well as environmental groups. Others have expressed support for the proposed Weaver Cove project. My charge to you today is to ask as follows: review and discuss the issues surrounding the proposed Weavers Cove LNG project, including but not limited to public safety, the economy, and the environment. And second, if appropriate, recommend legislative solutions. I would like to mention to you that on the 30th, I received correspondence from U.S. Coast Guard Captain Raymond Perry, who reached out to us to offer the task force the assistance of his staff in conducting this review. A copy of the letter that we received from him has been included in your packets. I appreciate the members' willingness to participate in this process. I have appointed Senator Levesque as the chairman of the task force, and I would suggest to you that I anticipate throughout the hearings you will hear testimony from both those who support the project as well as those who object to the project. At this time, I would ask that Senator Levesque take over these proceedings. Thank you to the members.
Madam President, thank you very much. As the President has indicated, we have, in fact, set for ourselves a fairly ambitious schedule to try and address some of the concerns. I want to first introduce my colleagues who are here on the dais. If I could, I'd like to actually first introduce Representative Malik and Representative Gallison, who are both here, both of whom have been real leaders in this issue on the House. And I thank you very much for your attendance here today. I know you have other obligations you may have to attend to, but again, thank you very much for coming today, for all of your efforts on this matter, and I look forward to working with you. I'm sure the task force looks forward to working with you in the future on this issue as we move along. And again, thank you very much. I would also like to thank the members of the commission who are here today. And again, as I said, we set a fairly ambitious schedule. I had to do it in conformance, unfortunately, if you will, with my own schedule, not so much my colleagues. And I meant, obviously, no disrespect to them, but in trying to get such a large group together, there were some issues that were going to have to be ignored, if you will. But I have arranged to have notes taken and delivered to each member of the commission so that they will be aware of what transpires. And of course, we are trying to televise everything. But again, their schedules will dictate that they may have to leave or cannot be here for a full meeting. I hope that everybody will understand that that's just the nature of the business we do in this building. Beginning to my far left, as he has always been to my far left, is Senator David Bates from Barrington. He is the only one I will address by district because I know Barrington and Bristol, he is abuts mine. Beside him is Senator Walaska. Beside him is Senator Duvall and Senator Walter Felag, who also has Tiverton, portion of Bristol, and Warren. To my right, Senator Harold Metz. To my far left, Senator Louis De Palma. Beside him, my dear friend Senator Rhoda Perry. And beside me, immediate to my left, is Senator Josh Miller. At this time, without further ado, I would like to introduce, I would like to bring forward the person who has, I think, been the lead for the state with regard to this issue, and certainly his efforts are commendable, and his willingness to participate with us is very much appreciated. I would like to call forward the Attorney General of the State of Rhode Island, Patrick Lynch.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. I don't know whether I should face forward or turn around to the crowd that's assembled, but I'm grateful for everybody that's here.
I'll let you know if they make any moves
I'll
towards you,
probably
General.
I'll probably feel it.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same up here, General. If you'd introduce your colleague also for us when you have a chance.
I will. This is actually Terry Tierney, Assistant Attorney General, long-running member of the department for a great deal of time focusing on environmental matters for my office and obviously the people of this state. I am grateful for the opportunity to testify. I recognize, too, that there is a healthy calendar and other interesting things that are happening today. Something called the state budget has come out, and we all have to obviously peruse that. But I was anxious to come before this committee to discuss my experience and background in this, and we have put together a little PowerPoint for you. And we'll try to move through it as quickly as possible. Naturally, Mr. Chair, at your direction, I'll answer any questions that you would have, and if it's appropriate at the outset, I would just offer for you, I have no objection if people stop and ask me questions along the way, but obviously it's your prerogative as a chair of this. But certainly, I would welcome those at any time if I'm not explaining something properly, or if you need me to expound on any particular point. I have been very much involved in this matter. Obviously, when we got into it, there were two different concerns. One was the placement of an LNG facility at Providence Harbor. I don't know if I consider that kind of like Monty Python's, it's dead, but it's not dead yet. It's essentially off the table, although I'm one who remains concerned that someone will attempt to bring that back in the future. So I think it's important to note at the outset that certainly while my comments, and as you'll see in the maps we've laid out, we're focusing on the facility now it's proposed in Mount Hope Bay. But many of the concerns that I would offer you today are concerns that I think are equally applicable to both of the proposals that we have been forced, I guess, to bear witness to over these many years. In fact, a couple of the documents that may be in this, I still call them slideshows, but I think modern day they're PowerPoints, will include perhaps some references to Providence. We tried to delete them, so forgive me if they are still incorporated.